The Sopranos' final episode aired more than 14 years ago, yet the series has found a new, younger audience, in part to streaming services and other things. Joining us now, Steven Sciarpa, actor and author. He, of course, played Bobby Bacalari on the famed show. His new book, co-authored with Michael Imperioli, Christopher Moltisanti, you might know him as, is titled Woke Up This Morning, The Definitive Oral History of the Sopranos. My buddy, how you doing? Uncle Steve, you're everybody's uncle. That's your great marinara and eggplant and other great sauces that you send me once in a while. I'm not asking for that, but you know, if you remember.
Well, it's a good thing you're not asking, Joe, because I'm out of business with that. But,
oh no. You know, I still have some. I have one left from what you. Can we restart it? If I fund it. You got too much going on. Actually, The Sopranos is such amazing content that in the new age of streaming and podcasts, it was like a natural, and you're very successful. And now the book.
Yeah, well, you know, we found out that a lot of younger people started watching the show. Kids in their teens, their 20s. Their parents watched it. They were too young. And, you know, a whole new generation watching the show. Probably more people watching now because of streaming than did back then. Not everybody had HBO. So we started a podcast. We had a plan before the pandemic. We started in April. We're finishing up. We're coming down to the wire. We went through every single scene. Not just every season, every scene, and then the natural progression. We had so much material. We got the book, so the book is the podcast plus 50%.
Amazing. I saw that Michael has a band. He was playing down in Lower New York, and people came. The girls were dressed like Aid and you know, Christopher's girlfriend, and so they're all into it. And I couldn't tell whether he was somewhat chagrined that he's always going to be Christopher Moltisanti. And I wonder how you view that. You're always going to be remembered as Bobby. And is that both a blessing and a curse, would you say, Steven?
You know, before, guys, before I was on the show, I was dabbling in acting. I had a whole nother life. I was entertainment director at the Riviera in Las Vegas. I started acting. I had no career. So you get on this show, probably the greatest show in TV history. They're going to see you as Bobby. But I've worked for 22 years straight. I was on another series for 5 years, played a suburban dad. Blue Bloods now, I play a detective.
Right.
I've been on that show for, this is my 7th season. So yeah, let them remind me, remember me as Bobby and him as Christopher. But we've done a whole bunch of other stuff. But it was a great moment in our lives, a once-in-a-lifetime situation where we all got together and made this incredible show.
And we've all heard stories about Jim, and I didn't know him. I pretended I can call him Jim, which I can't, but
Yeah, you can, Joe. You're an honorary soprano, Joe. You can.
I feel the loss, Steven. I still do. I mean, that was... Yeah. Man, he was just so big in so many ways, larger than life, and one of the really great actors. I don't know if he ever got credit for how... I mean, he was in that role at times, and that was when that happened. I don't think I'm over it yet. It's got to be. How many years is it?
Well, it was 2000. Listen, it's one of those things I remember. June 19th, 2013. Yeah, I had seen Jim, and we talk about in the book. The last time the three of us were together was May 20th. We went to a premiere of a movie for Nickelodeon that we were all in together. We talk about Jim a lot in the book. He was, a very dear friend of both of ours. We talk about his generosity. I've talked about it before. Contract dispute. He gave each one of us $33,333 each. We found out after he passed away, he had paid off people's mortgages, gave them money, went to a police officer in New Jersey that he didn't know. The family contacted him, went to the wake on his own, drove the car, knew no one, and paid his respects. He was a good man and a great actor. And I think as good an actor as anybody.
even though supposedly, I think on the show he went to Seton Hall for a semester, but we'd be remiss if I didn't say he went to Rutgers, and Becky's not here today, but a Rutgers grad. Andrew, you got it?
Guy.
Yeah, Rutgers guy. You got a
Steve, I know I got to ask him about the David Chase interview. I think it was just this week with Hollywood Reporter about the ending, and I was holding out hope. Maybe I just wanted to hold out hope. Maybe I was holding out the wrong hope. Clearly, I was wrong to hold out. Did you know exactly what the ending really was? Did you know that?
Well, no, I didn't.
We're going to ruin it if we tell everybody now.
No, we'll tell the
Is this
audience.
like a spoiler?
No, we'll tell the audience because up until the other day, I always said Tony Soprano was alive and well, living in New Jersey. I said, what, they killed him in the diner in front of his family? You know, that's what's my thing. Maybe I was just hoping. And then I've had David's been on the podcast twice. He's coming on again for the finale. And I've asked him, and he kind of gave me a waffle answer. And the other day, I understood that as Tony Soprano was dead. And it makes me sad because I always held on to the hope that somehow nothing happened in that scene and it faded to black, and that was that. But I read what you read. I think Tony Soprano is dead.